the wrestling podcast that sets all other podcasts apart. Covering news from the world of WWE, AEW, TNA, and more. Your favorite weekly episodic podcast, Ramblers Unleashed, starts now.
Oh, welcome back to it. Your Saturday afternoon delights, Ramblers Unleashed. And what a beautiful Saturday afternoon it is, especially here in the Midwest. Hopefully, wherever you are, it is absolutely gorgeous. Max, it looks like you have some sunshine behind you. Hopefully, J-Bone, you do too. Welcome to the show, man. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Of course, this is 420 day, so happy 420 day to you. I don't have anything to partake in 420 day, but I do have a cold beverage. So cheers to you and to everybody celebrating 420.
I got an edible.
Do you really?
Oh, I got lots of edibles.
Awesome. You should take one before the show, and we'll just do it.
Oh shit!
We'll just watch you high.
Who's gonna run things then?
Oh, it'll be great. It'll be fantastic. Oh no, we don't want to put Max Magus in charge. God no.
No, because then you're just gonna get a bunch of this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right.
That is a great picture of Bubba you have there.
Oh, we miss you, Bubba. Well, it is 420, and as you might know, we have one missing today. Baron, he's on a special 420 assignment. He's got a few jobs today. First and foremost, he's quality checking all the weed that comes into the WWE locker room to ensure it passes with the highest of quality, the emphasis being on high. And after that, he's going to be a personal shopper to Rob Van Dam. Again, to check and make sure RVD has the best of the devil's lettuce. So be careful, Baron. Happy 420 to you, buddy. We miss you. And we'll see you next week. Let me introduce the man who is your heel. He is the only heel that matters, the heel that gets the job done, whatever that may be, the heel that AEW will never contact for his opinion because he is too heelish for TK, and the heel that can use a little puff pass to calm down his heelish ways. He's the only guy that I know that pops bigger for Joel Gertner than any of us from ECW. You can call him Mr. Magus, but we call him the mighty Maximus Magus. Golfers clap, ladies and gentlemen. Max, how you doing, bud?
Listen, if you had half a brain cell, you would pop for Gertner as much as I do. Yeah. TK did reach out to me. I told him if he doesn't lay off the coke, he'll never have a successful federation. He hung up on me and called his coke dealer immediately to get more. But listen, we had this all worked out, okay? We talked about this pre-show. We said, hey, Dizzy will introduce me, and then I'll be like, hey, today's a special day. It's a Saturday. We come on this show. We talk about news stories. We give our opinions. Mine's the most important because it's right and theirs are wrong. But we talk about our opinions. And then I was going to say, hey, it's a special day. Today is the most high of holidays. And I want to wish my brother, the Baron. Wait a second. Where is my brother, the Baron? He was here a second ago. All I see is a puff of smoke now.
I ruined it.
It's all right.
Way to go.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
For now.
But Max, I'm glad you're okay, and I'm glad at least TK reached out to you, but he just couldn't take the heat, man. Couldn't take the heat.
He didn't want to hear my brutal honesty, and the white stuff was more important to him.
Well, he's still high on coke, by the way. News at 11. Finally, the man that keeps this train a rolling like the Baron's rolling papers. He is the proper the man whose laugh is so infectious. People think he is high, but he is only high on life and possibly the edible that he's going to eat later tonight. But wouldn't it be fun to get him high on the show, honestly? And without him, the show wouldn't exist, and without his misses, we wouldn't be here to ramble about two topics on this 420: pot and pro wrestling. He is the host of Smash This Podcast and Total Nonstop Impact with the latest TNA reviews on YouTube over any other podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the great and infamous J-Bone. Golfers clap. J-Bone, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, man. This is what I was referring to. I have not tried this. My wife's tried this.
What is that? 100 milligram peak Delta 9 THC gummy. Whoa, what's it taste like? Mandarin.
I don't know. This one
orange.
is Yeah, this one's orange. It says Hometown Hero.
It's a diesel.
I'm a little scared.
What?
Should I try it?
The white sticker. The white sticker said diesel.
Is it made from diesel fuel? I don't know.
The strain is sour diesel.
I don't know if I trust it that says it tastes like diesel fuel.
We need to ask the aficionado when he returns next week on what diesel what that is.
Made with live rosin extract. One gummy, handcrafted. Oh, gluten-free. Hey.
Awesome.
And vegan. So
it's rosin and it's vegan. Nice. So it's good for you and it's good for you.
Wait. It's vegan? Pass. I'll take the other stuff.
But for real, we need to ask Baron
what
about
other stuff.
I don't know what other stuff. Oh, you want the green stuff. You actually want the green stuff. The actual
But that's vegan too. That's all plant.
I mean, yeah, it's all plant-based. Yeah. It comes from the ground. It comes from the dirt. It's all plant-based.
Yes, but what did you fertilize it with?
Oh, God. Yikes.
Oh, boy. Okay. Well, we definitely need to ask the Baron on what that diesel thing is, because I'm kind of curious on that too, because he is the aficionado on the show of the Mary Jane, so we'll have to ask him. But happy 420, man. I remember I had a 500 milligram gummy. I ate it all. I was tasting colors. Let me tell you. Oh my God. I was just fucking gone. Like everybody was gone out of the house. Like my when I was married, she was gone. She was at her parents' house and I stayed behind and I got baked, like way beyond. I was watching an anime. I was watching an anime while I was stoned, and it actually made sense. Oh my God, he's doing it. Oh man.
Just a little bit.
He's doing it. He's doing it, ladies and gentlemen. Happy 420 to you.
Fun fact, Dizzy.
Yes.
You know how you said you were you could taste colors?
Yes.
You can generate the same experience if you make your coffee with Red Bull.
Oh God, I can't do that.
Ew.
Oh,
that doesn't sound very.
Do you do that, Max?
No, I don't touch energy drinks. I drink my coffee. That's it. But if you want to see color, if you want to taste colors, put a little Red Bull instead of the water, and make your coffee that way.
The last time I had a Red Bull, good.
You can taste the.
Oh yeah, the rosin. Yeah,
with diesel.
the diesel.
I told you, don't trust anything that says it tastes like diesel fuel.
The last time I had a Red Bull, man, it made my heart go pitter patter, and it was not a good pitter patter. I was like, "Oh, this is not good. I don't like this."
So I had this friend in Colorado years ago. We're not friends anymore. He decided he didn't want to be my friend. All right, well, screw you. I don't care. I have plenty of friends. Yeah. So we worked together at a gas station for a while, and he would drink energy drinks like all day. That's all he would drink. So he was going through 6 to 8 a day, which was stupid. God. He ended up in the hospital having his heart monitored. And then when he cut back, for about 6 months, he cut down to like 1 a week, but then got back into where he was drinking 1 or 2 a day again. We worked together at another place, at a restaurant, working the back drive, not a typical back drive. This was a barbecue joint. So even though it was a back drive, it was a little different than a fast food back drive. And he was doing about 2 a day, and then he had to go to the doctor again. This time it's because he got kidney stones, and the doctor said, those Monsters you drink every day? Yeah, that's what caused this. So he had to cut them out again. So just a little PSA to all you out there that like your energy drinks, be careful. They will mess with your heart. They will give you kidney stones, and they don't really make you fly, okay?
Yeah, I mean, they only give you like a high for so long, right? J-Bone, you're on mute, by the way. I don't know if you knew that, but
I think you just called us a bunch of suckers.
I think so too. Yeah,
or
dum-dums. Yeah.
My wife placed this in front of me. She's like, "You're gonna need this." I'm like,
I'm not even in the same room.
If I get my head stuck inside this later, just let me know.
He's not even smoking it. It's a munchie, or it's an edible, and yet somehow I managed to have caught the munchies off of this.
Oh, I think I haven't stepped outside yet, but I wonder if there's like a cloud over me from Baron's haze.
I can see it down here.
Oh, can you? Okay. Dang.
Where are you? Don't say. Okay, so Max, you're in Texas, right?
I'm in Houston. I'm okay with giving that out.
You're in. Okay. No, I didn't want to give out exact addresses.
No, I'm not giving. I'm not going to sit here and go, "Hey, this is my address. Come visit me." But I don't mind if people know I'm in Houston.
Just general areas. Dizzy, you're in what?
I'm in Southwest Illinois. Southern Illinois.
Okay. Where are you in relation to where Baron is right now?
I'm about 2 hours from him. So I'm about 2 hours east.
Okay, so if you look west, see what the sky looks like.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I haven't been outside today, so I don't know if there's some sort of haze floating around, but I'm definitely going to go outside and see if the Baron has been token on the devil's lettuce later on, because it is 420. So he has to. But and we wish him a speedy recovery. Come back to the show, Baron. We sure do miss you. And guys, man, there's been a lot of wrestling news happening. We had a ton of releases last night during SmackDown that was announced from the number of dirt sheets out there, as well as a title was dropped on Raw. Mommy is injured. Rhea Ripley is injured, and she's going to have to do some recovery time. So it'll be interesting, especially now that we're getting into the draft and things like that. What the draft is, next week, right?
Starts next Friday.
Yeah. So we're getting close to the draft. We're going to see what they're going to. I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with the title, and now that Mommy's out of the picture, just to see what they're going to do with that.
There's something that bothers me about the draft, though. They made a big thing about having all three GMs, Ava, Aldis, and Pierce, in I think it was Aldis's office, and they were talking about the draft, and Ava's like, "Remember, you guys are making this easy for me as well." Okay, so if NXT is going to be a big part of the draft, implying that that she's going to be able to draft people over to NXT from Raw and SmackDown, why is there no NXT draft night? You have a SmackDown draft night, you have a Raw draft night. Why don't we have an NXT draft night too?
Is it? I wonder if they're going to use the like college football. I wonder if they're going to do it. They're just going to call them up and say, "Hey, I call up such and such from NXT to join Raw, or I call up such and such from NXT to join SmackDown." I wonder if they're going to do it like that.
I don't know, but they can keep Baron on NXT for all I care. Send him to Ring of Honor.
What Baron are you talking about? Hold on. What Baron are you talking about?
Baron Corbin.
Oh, Baron.
I like our Baron. I told you guys before. Our Baron is my favorite co-host in this show.
Wow.
Confused. I'm like, which Baron are you talking about? Because our Baron's on NXT.
In fact, it goes like this: our Baron, me, J-Bone, our audience, and then Dizzy.
You're gonna put our You're gonna put our audience that low? Gosh,
we're still above you.
You know what? I put our audience here, J-Bone here, because he is the producer of the show. I put Baron right here. I put me here. Max, you're fucking wherever.
Wherever. He's in limbo.
Yeah, he's in limbo. He's in purgatory.
So you're gonna take my joke and just flip it up a little bit to kiss ass with the audience. They're already on my side, Dizzy. You've already lost this war with involving the audience. They love me.
Show your love for Max. Let us see how much you absolutely love Max, or tell us who your favorite person is in the chat. Let us know, and we can settle this debate once and for all. Once and for all. All right, let's get into tonight's news, or today's news, I should say. Starting with 5 wrestlers have been released from WWE, and the 5 include Jinder Mahal, Xia Li, Xia Quinn, Veer Mahan, and Sangha.
Zion.
I'm sorry, Zion. See, I was googling how to pronounce these names. I was like, okay, I got Xia right. But they're just, I don't know. Sometimes those names kind of throw me. But we have 5 people that are gone from the WWE, and the biggest name I think is Jinder Mahal. And I was looking this up, and there's actually a running joke from the talent in the locker room regarding Jinder Mahal. They say the running joke is that talents say that Jinder's going to go to AEW to feud with Tony Khan on Dynamite this summer.
Oh,
well,
God.
That's funny because that almost relates to what I just sent.
Yeah, that is. Right. Yeah. So we'll call this a little bit of breaking news.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen. Hot off the press. Guess what, folks?
Jinder Mahal is all
Jinder Mahal.
Listen, I had issues with how Jinder managed to retain the title while he was the champ, but it's not that I disliked the guy. I thought he was very talented in the ring. Although I have to say one of my favorite Jinder Mahal moments was actually a bad thing, and I kind of feel bad for it, but it's still funny to this day. What the hell was her name? The all red all over, whatever, Eva something.
Eva Marie. When she was doing the ring announcing, 3-man band confronts her backstage. And there was a little bit of seriousness in this because she was pretty bad at mispronouncing names. And they're like, do you realize that our names are how we make our money? When you mispronounce it, they're looking for the wrong name. And Jinder goes, what is my name? And she goes, Jinder Mahal. Oh, that was on Total Divas.
Oh, was it? Oh, that was hilarious. Wherever it was at, I laughed. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Listen, I feel bad because they're right. Their name needs to be pronounced right, so they make the money. But that was a funny mispronunciation right there.
That was a good one. So, I mean, it sucks that we have talent that are gone, especially Jinder. But the reason behind the cuts is that there's been some reports from the higher ups that indicated a combination of different factors, including lack of TV appearances due to creative not being able to find suitable storylines for them, as well as considerations of upward trajectory and tenure within the company. So that would make sense as to why, we haven't seen these guys on TV and we don't know how to freaking pronounce their names, is because, well, we don't know who they are besides Jinder Mahal.
Well, what sucks
there you go.
they did all this promotion, was it last year, for Veer Mahan. It was supposed to be like this monster beast guy.
Veer is coming. Veer is coming.
Yeah. He put out stuff on his own socials, and it was like, oh, okay, so we got a new like international monster on the way. And it was like, cool. And then it was weeks and weeks and weeks
and months and months
like,
and months.
And pretty much was. And we joked about it over on TNI because Trent, a former co-host of mine, looks like Veer Mahan. So we were like, bro, you're on TV. Good for you, man. It's like so now we can rib him and be like, hey man, we're real sorry about the bad news. And he'll be like, what? It's like, WWE just let you go. Haven't you heard?
I wasn't overly impressed when he finally did make his debut. But I have an issue when the WWE spends all this money on advertising saying, hey, we've got this guy coming to Raw. We got this guy coming to SmackDown. This group, what were they called? Top Dollar, BFAB. Anyway, they did the advertising for like 2 months.
Lots of dollars.
Saying that these guys were coming to SmackDown, and they never showed up, and they got released the week before they were finally going to show up. And then they brought them back, and now Top Dollar's gone again. And actually, I think it's just BFAB that's left. But I mean, either way, why spend all that money and then, you know what? We changed our mind. We just got nothing for you.
Yeah. I mean, why even waste the energy? Not even just the money, but the energy on thinking of, okay, how are we going to promote these guys, and what are we going to do to give them some promos to cut? Just tell them, like, look, we don't have anything for you. We'll keep you around for as long as we can until we find something for you, but we're not going to waste any energy on giving you, something to give you a storyline, and that'll tie into what Adam Copeland is pushing for a little bit later on. But I just don't understand why we have all these things being thrown at us and getting us excited about something like a major run, and it's never going to happen. I'm not a fan of that. Not a fan of that at all.
Yeah, it's the industry, but yeah, it still sucks.
It is. And I guess, you know what? I guess we can talk about this right now because it's kind of annoying, honestly. Copeland was on This Van Color with Mo Amir, and he shared his thoughts on being a wrestler. You should have your own you should be to take over your own storyline. You should be able to say, hey, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to run my storyline, and I'm trying to find what he said exactly, but he pushes for creative autonomy with wrestlers. He wants more creative control he wants the wrestlers to have more creative control over their destiny and what they get to do in the promotion that they're working for, whether it be AEW, TNA, or WWE. He thinks that everybody should be able to choose their own destiny and create their own path, because it would be monumentous, especially since I don't know if the problem is we're having trouble finding people to creative writers. I don't know if we're having a problem finding creative writers, or if they're just running out of ideas, and there's these wrestlers who have some fresh ideas, but they're like, we can't do that, we can't take a chance on that, let's stick to something that we know that will work. Max, you were in the industry. Do you think it's smart for wrestlers to choose their own creative control, or do you think it's better to have creative writers on staff to say, you know what, let's steer away from that. It doesn't work. Let's go with something else that does.
I have always been a heavy proponent means I'm in support of bookers over story writers. And the reason for it is you're going to weed out the ones that aren't very good at it. But when it comes to the booking side of it, here's how this usually works. I am going to book the show for tonight. It's going to be J-Bone versus Dizzy. I'm going to meet with you guys when we run down the card. We may talk separately, and I'm going to tell you guys how I want this to go tonight. I'm going to tell you guys how this needs to start. I'm going to tell you guys do your thing in the middle, but it's going to go about 8 to 10 minutes, and I want Dizzy to hit his finisher. I want J-Bone to kick out and get a quick schoolboy roll-up, and then we may have a promo before or after, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey, these are the points I want you to touch on in your promo. And so, for example, if I want J-Bone to cut the promo tonight, the reason that I am challenging Dizzy for this match is because that bastard is always drinking when he should be focusing on other stuff. Okay? Now, I'm not telling him use these words. What I'm saying is, in your promo, I want you to touch on Dizzy's drinking. I want you to touch on this. And from the booking side, as opposed to the creative writing side, I'm giving J-Bone the free flow to not have to memorize it. And some people can't memorize it. You have to go out there and open your mouth sometimes and do stuff. So this way he can get a free flowing thing. Now, if I write it for him, and some wrestlers need that, but if I write it for him, what good am I doing him at polishing his craft? That's why places have promo classes, why feds have promo classes. I think you need to be a booker. I think you need to have bookers, not story writers, and you need to teach your people how to do stuff. Now, as far as creative control, you can come to me. If you guys don't like what I'm doing with your story, come to me as a booker and say, hey, Jerry, Max, we don't really like this. Can we talk about it? I'll sit down. We'll talk about it. At the end of the day, I may tell you we're going to go ahead and go with the original plan. But I think that from the booker side of it, I should at least be willing to hear what you have to say and hear you out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, there should be a little give and take. There should be some good communication. It shouldn't be one-sided. Like if the wrestler is, I hate using this term, but we'll just say green, and he's very creative, but hopefully, I think it has to do with attitude too. Like the wrestler has to come in with a good attitude. He has to be able to take constructive criticism. He's got to have an open mind, So yeah, there's got to be like good communication going back and forth. So
yeah, I think it all ties back into teaching the wrestlers how to control their own creative and how the different ways to be creative. But it also is important to focus on, is this good for the company? What will benefit the company? What's going to make us money? What's going to keep our fans interested? What's going to keep people, asses in seats, basically? And if you can figure out all those components, and then you can draw something up as far as a storyline goes to keep people invested in your product, which I think is the problem with AEW. I think that's the biggest problem that we've seen with AEW is that, we've got Swerve Strickland, who was a face or who was a heel, and now all of a sudden he's a face, but he's still got this storyline against Hangman Adam Page. If Hangman Adam Page comes back, guess what? Swerve's a heel. Like instantly he just becomes a heel. And there's no storyline. There's no leading up to it. There's nothing to it. There's, if we see a Dynasty tomorrow night, if we see a Dynasty, the match between Samoa Joe and Swerve Strickland come to a halt because Hangman Adam Page comes out, that makes Swerve Strickland a freaking heel. There's already a heel in the ring, but not
necessarily.
Wow.
If I'm booking this, I'm either going to go a little long term because Hangman's suspended indefinitely. Probably means he's out rehabbing his injuries because I know he's had some. But I'm either going to go long term, so I have time to turn. Huh?
He's a new father. I think that's what that's what I'm guessing. But I know he's just had a kid, so.
So I'm either going to make it somewhat long term, so I have time to turn Swerve back, or I'm bringing. You don't normally see this happen. It's happened 2 or 3 times that I can think of. You bring the wrestler back that's out. In this case, Hangman. You bring him back in as a heel. He's had enough. He snapped. He sneaks in. He jumps Swerve from behind and lays him out, giving Samoa Joe the win. And then he gets on the microphone and says, no, we're done. We're done playing this game. And he makes it a heel speech. So you don't have to turn Swerve back. He doesn't instantly just magically become heel again. You turn Hangman on his return. It's not something that's easy to do because when a wrestler's been gone a while, what is the fans' automatic gut reaction? They're like, oh my God, it's Hangman. He's back. Hangman, what did you just do? See?
Yeah, but we've seen this with AEW though. We've seen just the absolute shit show in the ring that it can be when somebody returns, and I just hope. Go ahead.
Don't worry, I sent the link to this show to TK, so he just saw my idea of how to make this work. It'll be fine.
I hope that he listens to you. I really hope that he listens to you.
Well, he may not get back to you till tomorrow. I'm just saying.
Yeah, right. Or Monday, honestly, but it's going to be interesting as to since the industry's kind of changing. We're out of the Vince McMahon era when it comes to WWE, and I think that's shaken up. I think that's shaken up the industry, honestly, especially the industry that of the 3 big promotions, and I'm talking about WWE, AEW, and TNA. I think that if where we go with being out of this era of Vince McMahon and always having to watch out for Vince McMahon, now that there's more freedom to be able to run our promotions without the fear of, oh God, are we going to get bought out? I think it's good for the industry if these wrestlers are shown how to do their own creative, how to write their own creative, and how to make their own destiny. Max, you had something to say?
Actually, I have something to say, and I just said something in the chat. I just want to point out that TNA doesn't even count in the top 10 on this list. But how's it going, Bells boy? There's 2 types of heat. Okay, as a face, it's really easy to get the cheers. When I was part of management at RMCW, I went out and said, "Hey, your champion, the face, isn't cleared to wrestle tonight," and the fans were yay because they knew I was saving their champion from losing his title while he was injured. Now, when you're a heel, it takes a little bit of work, but there's 2 types of heat. There's cheap heat. For example, I walk out and I'm in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and I'm like, the only thing smellier than your cheese is your football team. That's cheap heat. I'm taking the easy way out. The part where they worked it and somebody put some thought into it was when when Rock pointed out that Phoenix is the number 1 city for meth. Huh?
Yeah, it was Phoenix.
Yeah. I mean, he actually, that wasn't cheap heat. That was worked for heat. There's 2 different types of heat. Don't take the cheap way out. You need to get good enough on the mic. Read your audience, okay? If it's a Cinco de Mayo show, you probably do not want to wipe your ass with a Mexican flag. Read your audience.
Or if you're in Canada, you don't want to put the Canadian flag up your nose.
This is an excellent point. If you're in Canada, also don't insult poutine, all right? They don't like that when you.
And if you're in Australia, do not insult Vegemite or kangaroos or koala bears.
If an Australian asks you, do you want to do a shoey? Your answer is, hell yeah, let's do a shoey.
Right. Exactly.
I want to talk about what Bell's Boy just said in the chat, though.
Yeah, can we get that up on the screen, please, Jabone? All right. The question is, can I get your take on what Tony Khan said at the Dynasty media call that he's possibly stepping down from booking?
Dizzy, did you get into Tony's stash?
Yeah. I think I'm getting the whiff of Baron's haze here. Go ahead.
Close your windows, bro.
Right.
Oh, of course. Then he follows it up with eventually.
That shit's strong. Eventually, right.
Listen, here's the thing. I have said this multiple times on the show. I've said it on Facebook. I've said it in the messenger chat. What's best for AEW right now is that Tony Khan take a step back from booking. He needs to go into rehab. He needs to break this Peruvian marching powder addiction that he has. He needs to let somebody who knows what they're doing handle booking. Now, at the end of the day, he can still sit there and go, you know what, I don't want to do that. But he needs to let people who know what they're doing do the booking. He needs to take at least a step back or find someone to actually teach him how to do it properly. What he's doing right now is basically fantasy warfare, and it's like he's in his basement playing with his wrestling action figures. That's really all AEW is right now. He needs to get better at what he does or let somebody do it that knows what they're doing. Hey, I'm a huge Robin Williams fan, and that's how he phrased it a lot of the time was Peruvian marching powder.
I love it. But
I think that says a lot about the source of where it's coming from.
I think that says quite a bit, yeah. But that's an interesting take on what needs to happen at AEW, and I really hope that happens. I really hope that he hires a creative team to sit in his place, because he needs a whole group of people.
I agree with that. But look at everyone he's even got in the company. He's got Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
He's got Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah.
He's got Copeland.
Is Arn still there?
I'm not sure.
I don't know if Arn's still there.
I don't think Arn is. I know Jerry Lynn is.
Yeah.
You've got Christopher Daniels.
Yeah.
Big Show.
A big show. Mark Henry,
Yes.
Schiavone, Jim Ross. Even you have a plethora. So I mean, he's got
the people. He's just not utilizing them because it's the show for Tony Khan.
Yeah, because he's such a massive fan. But yeah, then there's an ego side that goes into it. This is my show. This is what I'm doing. Yeah. You gotta give some of that up to at least. It's like what I said at the start of the show. There's got to be a good communication. Let's get all our ideas on the table and see what's best for the show.
So here's what I think. Here's what I think is going on. I think Tony Khan wants to be in professional wrestling, has no idea what to do with professional wrestling. Hires all these big names, all these well-known people who have years and years of knowledge to help him run his company and to help create storylines and all this and that and this and that. But yet he says, you know what? My ego is so huge. I know what I'm doing. And so I'm going to book it, but I'll still keep you on the payroll. You can train the wrestlers, but I'm going to keep you on the payroll, but I'm going to do the creative side of it because I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. So there's that in it. And the fact that he's wealthy beyond wealthy and and he's got the money to do whatever he wants. He's going to keep bringing these big names in, which by the way, I don't know if you guys heard about this. Speaking of AEW, there's a possibility that he is interested in bringing in the Bella twins.
Yeah, he did say that.
And
I don't think they're interested. But I don't think they are now.
Yeah, I don't think they want, and it's good at that. If they, I honestly don't look. I don't want to see AEW go down the drain. But if we keep going where we're going, and we have all these wrestlers who say, I don't think I want to do this because they're seeing what WWE is doing, and now that out of control of that company and Triple H is in control, I think that we're going to see less and less people being interested in what we once considered was, well, the grass is greener at AEW. So I think we're going to get, but again, it all depends on how can they fit them into the story? How can they fit them into the storyline? Does it make money?
But that's the problem. He's not thinking about how he can fit them into the storyline. What he's thinking about is, oh my God, Sasha Banks is a huge name. If I bring her in, that'll put asses in seats. Yeah. He's not trying to figure out how to make them fit, which is what's great about how Triple H is doing things. When he's looking at signing somebody, he's already working on a plan for how is he going to fit these people in to the pre-existing storylines that are already going on. He's not just jumping right in. And that's part of the reason that he still starts people in NXT is that way. I may not have an idea for this person right now, but give me a couple weeks and maybe I can figure something out.
But then they can hone their own craft over at NXT. They can get better before they get called up to the main roster. And that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And
kills two birds with one stone.
I cannot believe I'm about to do this, but I'm going to partially defend TK for just a minute.
Oh boy.
So I don't agree with him taking full control. I don't agree with that at all. But part of the reason that he locked it down to everything has to go through him is the Max, what's his name? Max, the guy that wraps his way down to the ring.
Oh, Max Caster.
Max Caster, yeah. He cut a very inappropriate promo on his way to the ring, and it didn't get caught in time to be kept off of the broadcast. And so there was a lot of complaints about this. The woman that he directed the comment at was not happy either. She said something backstage. So Tony said that from now on, everything has to go through him. And if he doesn't like it, it's not happening. And that's when he really locked it down and became the sole booker for the company. Now, like I said,
I think I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't agree with him doing it all by himself. I do agree that he needed to take a little more control after the incident because that didn't go down too well.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to find what he actually said. Let me look it up here real quick. The acclaimed kicking ass for miles. You make claim mental health like Simone Biles.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's what
it
referring
yeah.
to. So,
and Tony Khan said that it should never have aired.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
That's a whoops, definitely on his part.
That's a big time whoops. And I think he might have got in some trouble for that. I hope so, at least. But again, that goes back to teaching these young wrestlers on the pros and the cons of creative and what promo you should cut and what you should keep out of your promo and things of that nature. So there's been a lot of honestly like a few red flags that I've seen out of AEW that shouldn't have aired, but they did. Definitely would not have flown over at WWE, but it just we want to hear your thoughts on this. You can leave your comments below in the chat and let us know what you think. Should wrestlers have their own creative freedom to control what they do, their own storyline? Let us know what you think. Let us know your thoughts. We love to hear from you. Let's move on because we could spend all day on this topic. Seth Rollins is currently out of TV. He's off TV. He suffered from a meniscus, torn meniscus back in January, but opted against immediate surgery. Now recent reports confirm that Rollins underwent said surgery earlier this week, signaling a hiatus from the ring for an undisclosed duration. So we approximately about 8 months of recovery time is what Rollins could need to get over this. It could but it also says that it might lead to a speedier recovery spanning about 2 to 3 months, the way that they did a less invasive procedure on his meniscus. So I think whatever the doctors, I think they have him in mind. We wish him a speedy recovery. We want to see him back, because I definitely want to see him get his revenge on Drew McIntyre or whoever has the belt, because I think he's going to come back for that belt hot and heavy when he comes back. So we wish a speedy recovery for Seth Rollins. Let's move over to some AEW news. Swerve Strickland. Sorry, go ahead, J-Bone. Did you have something to say?
Oh no, I'm just agreeing. Yeah, that hopefully we see him. It's like, yeah, coming out of this last Mania, there was a lot of people banged up and a lot of people due for a break. And well, it was hard to tell up until like night 1 and definitely night 2 of Mania what was going on with Seth.
Yeah.
By the end of the night, you could tell Seth was done, and some of the backstage footage came out of guys helping him into the ring, helping him stand up, being a good brother. And speaking of good brothers, their podcast is back on Spotify. I don't know if anybody knows that, but anyways, yeah, it's fun talking shop. Yeah, good shit. I found it last night by accident.
Awesome.
But yeah, but between Rhea Ripley, Mommy, being out, Seth.
That was unexpected.
I'm also hearing Drew McIntyre's not necessarily injured, but he's banged up. I mean, there's a lot of people banged up. I saw something on it.
Rhea, from what I hear from all the backstage news that I hear, is Rhea before Mania, I think, or before her match at Mania, or before they even went to Mania, she had a bit of a nervous breakdown. So I think that, I don't know if that's
that was at Mania. It was before her match. She had an anxiety attack. These are common, especially you're getting ready to go out and have one of your biggest matches. It'll get to you. And Jason Jordan was there, and he talked to her, and he calmed her down. Everything was fine. I'm pretty sure her anxiety is not the reason that she had to vacate the title. I think there is a real injury involved. I mean, the schedule these people work, it's bound to happen. And going into WrestleMania, I figured we were going to see at least 3 people take some extended time off after Mania, and that was Rollins, Reigns, and Becky. Yeah. And Rollins and Reigns are out. Becky, from what I saw on the preview last night during SmackDown, Becky will be back on Monday as part of the Battle Royal.
Oh.
So I don't think her time off was because of an injury. I think she was just going to take some downtime. And with Rhea's injury, I think she decided, you know what, I'll come back for now. I can take some downtime later.
Well, yeah, you forget some of these wrestlers are parents. They got little ones at home, so you gotta give them time for the family. If they're solo, they're out on the road. I don't mean solo Sikoa, but if they're solo, they don't have any significant others. Yeah, everyone's got family, but most people do. But
yeah. There was, was I watching Dark Side of the Ring, and they mentioned something about that. These wrestlers are on the road all the time, and they usually are teamed up with somebody to ride with, and they have their riding buddy, and they have their partner in crime. And yeah, exactly. And when you have that, you over time, you become family to these people. These people become your family. These people become, sometimes water is thicker than blood, and it becomes something that you can look to that person, even though they're not related to you. You can look to that person. It's kind of like having a best friend that you've known for years. I mean, fuck, Bubba and I have been best friends for years and years and years. We've been best friends since grade school. And I know that if I need him, I can turn to him and say, dude, I need, can I talk to you? And he'd say, yeah, absolutely. Let's talk. So that's one of the things that is, that is the good thing, even though you're away from your family from time to time. And that's why, I am always behind these wrestlers, especially on these major promotions like WWE, because they are away from their family a lot. They are usually FaceTiming their kids at night to tell them good night and go to sleep and all that. And I thank these guys for doing what they do, for entertaining us, for putting their bodies on the line to entertain us. And I'm glad that they have that bond with their brothers and their sisters in the ring, to have, to console and to lean on, because they're dealing with the same thing, so I think it's good that they do that. So but then again, it also doesn't hurt to have the downtime, and especially, if you think about, Rhea Ripley and Roman Reigns, and you think about Seth Rollins, who held these titles for so long. They had these titles for so long, and you have Gunther too, who held the IC title for as long as he did. It's time to take them off TV. They've done their job. It's time to pass the torch on to someone else and let them run with it. Let them do what they want to do with it. And as long as it benefits the company, then that's great. But you also have to think about their mental health too. And I think that's what Triple H fits, but he also is in the business to make money. WWE is in the business to make money, much like AEW is in the business to make money. So I think it is important to focus on a wrestler's mental health. And you think about all the tech guys too, for WWE. You think about all the backstage people that we don't see on the TV, that we see behind the scenes, commentators and things like that. They work maybe a little less on the road, but they definitely put in the same amount of time. So if you go to an indie show, think a wrestler, because they do this to entertain us, and they're here so that we can talk about it, and they're here to put asses in seats and give us a thrill of our life, man. That's what pro wrestling's all about, dude. So let's just and Gunther just recently became a father this past December, so he definitely wants to spend time with his baby. So
I want to touch on this. Bellsboy, by the way, thank you for joining us today and keeping the chat going here. Says, I want to get your guys' takes on the contract status of Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, Ricochet, and Becky Lynch, who have yet to resign, and their contracts are running out this summer. Now, some of these I'm aware of, some of these I was not. Like, I was aware of Becky Lynch, Seth, and Drew's been in the news, but I wasn't aware of Ricochet.
Well, I'm in the process of looking them up. I haven't quite looked up Ricochet yet, but here is what Seth Rollins said to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful at the WrestleMania 40 kickoff show. He said, it's all there in writing. We're going to get a new deal. Something is going to get worked out. WWE is my home. I love this place. I love this industry. I'd like to spend more time with my daughter. She gets a little bit older, but at the end of the day, I want to stay here. I want to be here for the rest of my life. I love this place. I'm sure that the powers that be feel the same way about me. Otherwise, we wouldn't be sitting here with this title on my shoulder. I'm sure the compensation will be fair and just. So his contract and Becky's are up in June. So he is absolutely convinced that they're going to get a deal. He's not leaving. Now,
and that was who?
That was Seth.
That was Seth. Okay.
Now, Becky was on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani, And this had to have been pretty recently. He said, "Is this the final year of your contract?" She says, "It's the final 2 months." He said, "This is fun. I like this." She said, "You wanted me to be honest?" He said, "Yes, I do. I love honesty." And he talks of the renewal. She said, "Nobody said nothing to me." He goes, "Are you interested in renewing?" She said, "We'll see." He said, "What do you mean, we'll see?" She said, "We'll see. What happens after 2 months if you don't have a deal? Can you talk to others?" She says, "I'm WWE." And so he says, "Okay, so it's WWE or bust." She goes, "Yeah, I just don't know." So whether they get a deal for Becky or not, she sounds like she doesn't plan on going anywhere else. She did say, he asked her if this was by any chance her last WrestleMania. She said she doubts it. It does sound like they are working on something for Becky too, even if she's got no word on it at this point. As far as Drew goes, I'm not really finding a lot of information outside of his contract was set to expire in January. But due to injuries and stuff, they activated the rollover clause. And so his contract is now set to expire in May. And I haven't really found much on the discussions. I'm seeing speculation that that's not good for the WWE.
Well, money talks. We'll see what happens with all that. But definitely money talks. And I'm just sitting here thinking, all these guys these wrestlers who are becoming fathers and becoming, parents and want to take a little less time off the road, that's okay. That's okay. I would think, if I were in Triple H's position, I would say, okay, if you want to take time off the road, let's end your story. Especially if you're like holding a title, let's end your story, give you some time off so that you can be with your family, but let's keep you working. Let's put you at the performance center. Let's keep you there so that you can teach these new guys that are coming in that want to learn how to do this business, teach them everything that so that they can move on, so that we just keep this ball going. We keep the wheel turning so that nobody's just sitting on the sideline waiting to get better, and I think that's what I would do if I were in charge of talent relations and things like that. I would try to broker a deal between my client and the company, the WWE. And I think Triple H would listen. I think The Rock would listen. I think everybody involved would listen. So I think that's a good idea to alleviate time off the road, to alleviate the pressure on their body that they're putting themselves into, performing night after night after night after night. You're not on TV, no, but you're still working. You're still there. You're still being a part of the business. You're still there. You're still being a workhorse. You're still being a worker, but you're helping these guys train. So I think that would be a good idea for people to do. And especially since they have so many performance centers, they have 2 or something like that. I think they have 2. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that.
I know they got one in Florida, and I think they've got something something inside the new offices or something. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. So they have performance centers. They're not broke. They can make a new performance center. They can scatter these things out so that wrestlers can come and learn, and especially if you're in NXT, you can learn there. So I think there's multiple opportunities for people to train and get, hone their craft and learn from the best. So let's move on. Swerve Strickland has garnered some acclaim from his remarkable in-ring abilities and his captivating personality. I've been a big fan of Swerve for a long time. He's, we've talked about him shifting gears to embrace a babyface persona. After Revolution, Swerve underwent a dramatic character transformation, transitioning from one of the biggest heels in AEW to a beloved babyface. And he's been over for some time. Even when he was a heel, he was over. Now, despite his previous antics, including terrorizing Hangman Adam Page, Swerve now finds himself embraced by the crowd as one of the company's top fan favorites. And again, every time that Prince Nana is just so damn good. He's just so damn good. And
He's funny.
I really hope that Swerve, I really hope that they keep Swerve going in the right direction. I hope they don't backtrack him from doing what he's doing now.
I was just going to say that the championships on Sunday. Should we? Should we go over the card?
Yeah, let's go over the card here in just a moment. Do want to run over the final card for tonight's TNA Rebellion show, and that is at the Palms Casino Resort in Las Vegas tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time. That would be 7 Central here. Let's go over this card real quick. We won't do any predictions because we were going to save the reviews over for the TNI podcast. So you can check out J-Bone tonight on Total Nonstop Impact. He will review the entire pay-per-view for you tonight. But let's run over the card tonight, and then we'll move on to AEW because this is a stacked card for TNA. The pre-show features TNA Knockouts World Tag Team championship match, Spitfire with Lars Frederiksen and versus Decay, and then you have ABC and Leon Slater versus the Rascals and Myron Reed. So that's a big pre-show. Here's the main card for you. Joe Hendry versus Rich Swann tonight. A Full Metal Mayhem match between Eric Young and Frankie Kazarian, which I'm sad I'm going to miss. Last man standing match between Josh Alexander and Alex Hammerstone. That's going to be a good one. Again, I'm sorry I'm missing that. TNA X Division Championship match. Mustafa Ali, who is the current champion, versus Jake Something. TNA World Tag Team Championship match between the System, Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards versus Speedball Mountain, Mike Bailey and Trent Seven. And then you have the TNA Knockouts Championship match between Jordan Grace and Steph DeLander. And then the main event, the TNA World Championship match, Moose versus Nick Nemeth. That is a stacked card, and I love how they've done this card. I love TK, if you ever watch this, go over this card and look how they're booking. Look how TNA is booking. They are doing it right. They're not putting the championship match at the beginning of the fucking pay-per-view. Stop doing that, TK. It's all about building momentum. It's all about building the hype. You put all these championship matches at the beginning of the show, and then you mix match all the matches that are just going to be squash matches. Let's face it, they're going to be squash matches. Stop doing that. TK, take lessons, take notes from TNA. They're doing it, man. God, they're doing
take less lines of Coke, lot less lines. Take less
bumps.
Yeah, take less lines, less bumps from the white powder, and write down in your book about how to actually book a pay-per-view. And that brings me to the Dynasty card for tomorrow. So let's go over this and see what we could do to maybe better it. Okay. And I don't know if this is in order. So we're just going to pretend that this is in order. Okay.
Okay.
So we have the dark show. We have the pre-show. The first match is the 6-man tag match for the AEW World Trios Championship championships and the ROH World 6-man Tag Team Championship matches between the Acclaimed and the Bullet Club. I personally would put that in the main card. It's a bit. They've had a lot of heat with each other. They've had a lot of they've had a good storyline. I'd put that in the main card. Another pre-show match: Trent Beretta versus Matt Sydal. I think that's Sydal.
Sydal.
Yeah, okay. And then another pre-show match is Orange Cassidy and Shibata versus Shane Taylor Promotions, Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty. All right, now we move into the main card. And again, we're going as if this is in order. This is from BleacherReport.com. The internet, the AEW International Championship, Roderick Strong versus Kyle O'Reilly. That's the first match of the night. The FTW rules match for the FTW Championship between Hook and Chris Jericho. We have Adam Copeland and Eddie Kingston and Mark Briscoe versus the House of Black, Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews. House rules for the match of the TBS Championship between Julia Hart and Willow Nightingale. The Continental Championship match between Okada and Pac, the Bastard Pac, and I'm pasting this into the private chat so that you guys have the card too. Adam Copeland and Eddie King. Oh, I've already talked about that. The ladder match for the vacant AEW World Tag Team Championships between the Young Bucks and FTR. The AEW Women's World Championship, Timeless Tony Storm and Thunder Rosa. Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson. And the main event is the AEW World Championship match between Samoa Joe and Swerve Strickland. Now, we've all got the link from Bleacher Report. Let's all go down this and not only give our predictions, but how would we better the card? Like, because this is all mixed and matched, man. It's all mixed up, you know. What match would we put at the beginning? Like, what match would kick it off, you know? And what match? How would we better the card? Let's start with Max here. Max, do you have a link?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. This is such a mess right now, though.
I know. It's an absolute mess.
First off, I don't see anything on here except maybe Trent Beretta versus Matt Sydal. I don't even know if there's a story involved in this match. But outside of that, I don't see anything that I would put on the pre-show. Everything I'm looking at on this list belongs on the main card.
Right.
Now, you want a really hot opener. You got to have something that's going to get the crowd into it. And I would definitely not open with a ladder match. That just, I would say that your hot opener would probably be, I'm going to go with the six-man tag. Because you have the Acclaimed versus the Bullet Club Gold. And these guys will get the crowd going. Max Castro will come out, fire him up with his rap. Then you got the Bullet Club on the other side. You got the Scissor Me Daddy ass going on throughout the whole thing. I think this match will open it hot. That's the first thing I would change. Although why either of these teams is involved in the trios, I'm leaving the match as is, putting it as the opening on the card. I don't know why you're facing Roderick Strong versus Kyle O'Reilly. These guys are so much better when they work together. And in fact, I wish that these two, Bobby Fish and Adam Cole, baby, would come back over to WWE and go to the main roster. So I'm striking that match off of here. We'll put the International Championship. You know what? Let's put it on the guy with the coke problem. And he can go out there and defend it by himself. I do like the FTW rules for the FTW Championship. This looks like it could be fun. Hook versus Chris Jericho. However, that would be my second match of the night because Jericho's a little old. It's probably going to be the worst match of the night, too.
Oh, bro, have you watched him lately? He's still killing it. He's the Lionheart again.
Listen, I have not watched AEW in a while. That's why I was really worried when you guys said we were going to go down and give our opinions on this card. I haven't seen enough of it to know what I would do and what I wouldn't, but I definitely would get rid of that International Championship match there and send those guys back over to the other guys. I don't know. Look, guys, this is a mess. And some of it might make sense if I had watched the shows leading up to it. They're relying too much on old school scheduling. That's why you have 3 pre-show matches on here. 2 that definitely don't deserve to be pre-show. I would scrap this card and write it from scratch. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I wouldn't mess with it too much. I would definitely. Now, this is me. I know it's probably going to be in more of a headline spot because they're both good. But I look at it as in let's blow this place up right off the bat. I would stick Osprey and Danielson in front. Honestly, get people fired up. Like, yeah, let's go, because both commodities are hot right now. But yeah, I mean, I haven't watched that much either. I'm trying to get back into it. I know Moxley's back. He was showing off his IWGP title this past Wednesday. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff on here. There's a few matches I would take off. Let's talk about this main event, if anything. Samoa Joe versus Swerve Strickland.
that's going to be match of the night.
It's yeah, I think so. I mean, I love. Look, don't get me wrong. I love Samoa Joe, but man, if there's a guy that has been what I would like to call like a grassroots upcoming, like it's literally by the people that change their minds because of the amount of respect that they love out of Swerve and how much of a hard worker he is, that's put him in this position. I mean, the guy's been world champion in other places. I fondly go back to the show of Lucha Underground, because the stuff that he put on in that show as Kill Shot was priceless. I loved it. It's where I became a fan. I think where a lot of us became a fan, unless you saw him years before, locally, if you're that lucky. But yeah, I wouldn't change that much, but I would definitely give Swerve the title.
Okay. All right. I'll do my predictions for this. The pre-show 6-man tag match between the Acclaimed and Bullet Club Gold. Man, I'm gonna go Bullet Club Gold. Trent Barretta and Matt Seidel. I don't know. I have no idea about this match. I think they just put it for filler, so I don't really care. Orange Cassidy and Shibata versus Shane Taylor Promotions. Again, there's really hasn't been much of a story on these guys. So I don't know. Cassidy and Shibata. I don't know. Let's get into the main card, because it's all stupid anyway. I mean, how he's putting all these damn matches together, it's all stupid. The AEW International Championship match, Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly. See, again, I don't know. I mean, they showed a pretty good video package on Strong and O'Reilly. I haven't been seeing it. I haven't seen any of the stories between them personally, because I've only been watching Dynasty. I really don't have time to watch any Collision or Rampage, because again, sometimes I forget that they're on. So I don't know. But I guess I'll go with Roderick Strong, because they're pushing, the Undisputed. Between Hook and Chris Jericho for the FTW Championship match, which with FTW rules, which now Chris Jericho has turned heel. I would say Hook is gonna win, because he's gonna get revenge on his father. Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, and Mark Briscoe versus the House of Black. Again, I don't really know. I mean, they've been kind of hyping it up, but they really haven't done a good job with it. I would say the House of Black are going to win. For the you son of a no, go away. All right, just off topic. Okay. Bleacher, stop with your pop-ups about joining a mailing list. Nobody wants to join it. Shut up. House of Fools match for the TBS Championship between Julia Hart and Willow Nightingale. I just had to get that out there. If I'm predicting the House of Black, is going to go over. I think there's going to be some sort of interference between Julia Hart and Willow Nightingale, but I think Willow will walk away the champ. The match between Okada and Pac. I guess I'll go with the Bastard Pac on that one. Ladder match for the vacant AEW World Championship matches, the Young Bucks and FTR. I'm actually invested in this match. I think I don't know, because we have to remember that one of the guys from FTR, who will remain unnamed because we all know who I'm talking about, is still fighting off his impending charges in court for what the fuck ever he did. So I don't think FTR is going to get any titles put on them. So I would say the Young Bucks would be the tag champs on that. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. AEW Women's World Championship between Timeless Toni Storm and Thunder Rosa. I just don't know. Because again, I'm not really that invested. If anything, I would say Thunder Rosa would win the championship. But you're gonna have, but I mean, you're gonna have interruptions, I'm sure, in the match. Will Ospreay and Daniel Bryanson. This is going to be a barn burner. This is going to be so damn good. I will say, oh, absolutely, match of the night number one. I would say Will Ospreay will walk away victorious because we're really high on Will right now. But it could be Daniel. It could be Brian Daniel. I don't know. I really don't know. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Because this has been building.
Yeah.
But respectfully, not like, oh my God, they all went through 1 million tables and hit each other with 1,000 chairs. I think it's been pretty respectful. I don't think it's been too out of hand, which is refreshing to see.
Mm-hmm.
If Will Ospreay goes over Bryan Danielson, do we call it a passing of the torch?
I think so. And I think Will will win this match. And I think Bryan is about done. I think he's about over his career. So I think if anything, if Will wins this, it will be a passing of the torch. Max?
Yeah, I can see that. I was just sitting here thinking about the fact that I now remember who Matt Sydal is. And I don't know if Trent Beretta versus Matt Sydal is going to be that much fun. But if you put him in there with Will Ospreay, you got two flippy new guys in the ring. That'd be a damn good match. And I could listen to Jim Cornette lose his mind tomorrow.
Yeah. God, the flippy guy. The flippy.
Yeah, the other thing is, I do have a question.
And finally, yeah.
I have a question. I was looking back over in the House of Black. It says Malachi Black, Brody King, Buddy Matthews. Who's this Buddy Matthews guy? He sounds like the type of guy that has a gothic girlfriend who's also seeing a little Latino dude that's been in jail.
I believe he is one and the same.
Oh, that poor guy. I'm so sorry for him.
Yeah. Well, at least
put
it this way, man. Buddy Matthews is going to be able to keep an eye on mommy a lot more over the next several months. So he's not going to have to worry about, anything spicy or fiery going on, Latino heat,
Yeah. For the AEW World Championship between Samoa Joe and Swerve Strickland, I'm calling this match of the night number 2.
It does.
I think Swerve. I call Swerve. I think he'll go. I think he'll win.
It's time.
And that's just gonna and if we do this right, Tony Khan, if we do this right and Swerve Strickland wins, this is a perfect time to reintroduce the feud between Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page and turn Swerve into a, or vice versa, turn Hangman Adam Page into a heel. But I don't know how you would turn Hangman into a heel when Swerve's already done heelish shit to him. And people are going to remember that, be like, oh, really easy. So are they going to remember that if it's broke into Adam's house?
Yeah. See, and that's the thing. They respect the rise of the character. They are locked in 100% on this guy because of all the stories, all the hard work, and what are we talking about? Oh, sorry.
I believe the edible has kicked in.
I believe we were talking about Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page if Swerve Strickland wins the title.
Oh yeah. If it'd be easy for Hangman to come back and do something heelish, because that was my part after saying that the people are behind. Oh, come on. The people are behind.
Happy 420, everybody.
Yes. It's we're starting to feel yummy. I didn't me. He said yummy. So holy shit. The crowd, the audience, the AEW universe, if you will, they are so behind Swerve. It would take a lot of with some styles. It would take a lot for Swerve to do something heelish to switch it so that Hangman's to be a babyface again. All Hangman has to do is this would be perfect. He gets in the ring, and this isn't the night of the pay-per-view. This is the next whatever Dynamite, house show, whatever. He comes down to the ring, looks like he wants to squash the beef, shake his hand, and he raises Swerve's arm with the title, and Swerve's like, oh, all right, cool, and then there's Prince down in the background like, yay, bitches, yay. And then Hangman clobbers him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens and how they build this, but I do call Swerve Strickland winning the title, Max.
Two things. I predict during this match we're going to see Swerve go off the top rope, and Joe's just going to nope and walk out of the way. Secondly, for those of you that have been paying attention to J-Bone talking about this, this is what I saw happen.
What?
What is that?
That's a train derailment.
That's the train derailment? Yeah.
No.
His train of thought was just trickling along there, and all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah. Squirrel.
The cells are trying to connect.
I have a bit of breaking news here about regarding the releases from WWE. They're being handled differently under Triple H. This comes from Russell Feed. And a noticeable shifts from previous practices, WWE has adjusted its approach to talent releases, signaling a departure from the methods employed during the Vince McMahon era. Traditionally, wrestlers received brief, matter-of-fact calls from figures like John Laurinaitis and others, informing them of their release due to budget constraints. Shortly thereafter, the news would be let loose across WWE's official platforms, including WWE.com and social media channels. However, the recent wave of talent releases saw a departure from this protocol. According to reports from PW Insider, the manner in which these calls were conducted differed significantly. Russell Feed goes on to say, described as less curt and characterized by a tone of apology and respect, these conversations marked a departure from the previous norm. The shift reflects WWE's evolving approach to talent management, emphasizing a more empathetic and considerate interaction with departing wrestlers. It represents a departure from the corporate culture under McMahon's leadership, signaling a potential sea change in how WWE handles talent relations moving forward. So that's good news from the cutthroat era of Vince McMahon. We're moving into a look, man, this is what's going to happen. You know, we're letting you go. More of a subtle approach from Triple H, which this is what we've needed all along in the WWE. We've needed this for so long, and I'm so happy that Triple H is back, and he's doing amazing things. He's running the company the way it should be ran, the way that the way that fans should see professional wrestling. This is so good. I'm so happy that Triple H is back. I'm happy Stephanie McMahon is back. I am just so thrilled with the product right now that, and we're going to get bumps. We're going to see bumps in the road. We're going to see all sorts of different things that maybe we're not fans of, but that's okay. That's how we learn to get better. That's how we learn to look back in the past and say, okay, what can we fix from there, moving on into the future. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be an exciting time. Definitely is an exciting time in professional wrestling. And with that being said, guys, I think
we went from decades of you're fired, get the out of my office to, man, I really don't want to have to do this, but look, I either got to lay you or jack off. I'm sorry, I've either got to let you or Jack go.
I see what you did.
Yeah,
there.
so we're Mr. 420 guy. That's gonna wrap up the show for today. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Enjoy TNA tonight and enjoy AEW tomorrow if you can. Let's wrap this thing up. Max Mages, how can they? Yeah, $50 make you holla, baby. Max Mages, how can they follow you, sir?
Well, first off, Style, thanks for coming. I should have messaged you early in the show. I'm sorry. It's been a long day. But everybody can reach me at Max Mages because I'm like milk and I do the body good. You can find my nerd podcast at Art Shots Podcast.
There you go. Perfection. And Styles, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Thank you to everybody for joining us this afternoon. J-Bone, how can they follow you, sir?
You can follow me on the Twitter box at JBone5150. That's JAYBONE 5150. You can also follow me and the rest of the crew over on Total Nonstop Impact. Yeah. Where we cover all things TNA and with the latest news and reviews. So for
and
Rebellion,
your review for Rebellion.
Yeah, watch for that about 15, 20 minutes after the show. We're gonna, we're trying to like not pull 45 minutes later. That's not cool to do when pay-per-view is long enough as it is. So yeah, so watch for that. Link will be up later.
You can follow the Pump of Smoke that was Baron. You can follow the Pump of Smoke that was Baron at Scumbag Jordan with 3 N's.
999. I can't do it as well as Baron can. I cannot do it as well as Baron can. And by the way, right now, should we go on live after AEW Sunday night after the pay-per-view? Should we do a quick review of that after the pay-per-view?
Considering I'm not going to be ordering it, you guys can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is probably the first one I'm going to be skipping, honestly.
Okay.
If I can find a free 99 version, I'll try to tune in or just watch the clips on Twitter. Honestly, is probably the best way to go for some people.
Yeah.
But yeah, if certain titles and or events happen during the show, like the ones that we would be invested in, I don't want to just speak for all of us. Like none of us give a crap about AEW. Like we said, we do definitely want to see the show thrive and get better.
Mm-hmm. I say unless something severe or major happens, we skip it. We go over it on Saturday. I think that would be perfect if we just went over it on Saturday. So
we can. I say if this is what I think we should do. What are we talking about?
They're with that train of thought again.
Oh shit.
Okay, so let's just J-Bo needs a nap, man. So let's just say that unless something major happens on AEW, we'll talk to you on Saturday. But in the meantime, you can follow our show on X at the Ramblers Pod, Facebook, Ramblers Unleashed. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button here on YouTube, hit the bell icon so you're notified for more videos when we go live, and hopefully we keep J-Bone off the gummies.
I know, I like this side of him. He should do this every show.
I'm feeling mean, lean, and green.
What are we talking about?
It's fall 20.
It's fall 20. Happy 420, everybody. That's gonna wrap up the show for today. We'll see you. Enjoy TNA tonight and enjoy AEW tomorrow. We'll talk to you
later, folks. Much love.
Thanks for tuning in to Ramblers Unleashed. Follow the show on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and click the bell icon for notifications of upcoming episodes.